What is your profession?
So here we have 2,000 points of pure infantry Imperial Guard, the 50th Mordian Rifles in all their glory. So, like I said on my a few of my videos on my channel, I've decided that I've been using lots of different tanks and units that I wouldn't normally use, and I wanted to sort of go back to my roots and try some pure infantry. I've played a couple of games with them and it's done okay, and I thought it'd be quite good to use them today on the channel for a nice sort of relaxed weekend game. And it's going to be quite good. It's kind of a bit of a grudge match between me and Johnny, because back when we were kids I used to run a lot of infantry in my guard, and he used to use his tower a lot, and so this is almost a bit of history behind this match. We're going to see how over the years has the difference in the ability of the army to change, because it used to be where the guy used to get stomped, whereas now 8th edition things should be a little bit closer. So let's take a look at what I've got today. I have 18 squads of infantry. 9 of them have just got a single melter gun in them. The other 9 behind are more fire support squads, and each one has a las cannon and either a grenade launcher or a plasma gun. So that provides me with a decent amount of anti-tank. And again, this is it's going back to my go big or go home, going back to my roots and trying what I know works. Supporting that, I have 3 squads of autocannon teams, and again I put autocannons in here because if I lose an autocannon I'm not that bothered, but if I have las cannons in here, whilst it helps concentrate my anti-tank with orders, it does make them vulnerable to being killed, so autocannons are a nice compromise there. Finally, the elite section, we've got 3 command squads with a single flag and 3 sniper rifles in each squad, and then 3 veteran units with a missile launcher and 3 grenade launchers in each squad. Leading this force, we have the characters: 3 Astropath with las pistols, 3 Lord Commissars, 2 with power fist, 1 with a power sword, and then we have 3 company commanders and 3 platoon commanders. I have a few points left over at the end, so I decided to splurge out on a few upgrades, and each one of my commanders has a bolter and a power sword. So there we go, that's the army, 2,000 points. I think it's something like 250 infantry. Let's see what the Mordian Rifles are taking on today. So in case, I should mention, in case anyone's wondering how I'm running this army today, I'm running it in 3 battalions. So each battalion has 6 infantry squads, 1 veteran squad, 1 command squad, 1 Astropath, 1 Lord Commissar, 1 platoon commander, 1 company commander, and 1 heavy weapons squad. And I've done that because, again, going back to my roots, that was how I used to form my platoons under the old guard command structure, and that's what we're trying to get today. We're bringing platoons back, make platoons great again. So here we have 2,000 points of Tal Empire today, the most hated and ancient foe of my Imperial Guard army. So starting off on the left, we have 2 Piranhas with burst cannon and gun drones, and a unit of 5 shield drones. And then we have 4 troop choices, 3 squads of fire warriors, and the sergeant has a marker light, and a big old unit of crew. How many in here today?
7 in those, 14 in those.
14 in the crew, okay. This part of the army is going to be a battalion, and it is going to be led by a Fireblade, which is super recruit, and a tower commander with triple plasma, a shield generator, and 2 gun drones. Then we have the next attachment, which is going to be the Vanguard attachment, which is the one with all the elite choices in it, and that is going to have 2 squads of stealth suits. Each one of those squads has a drone controller and 2 marker drones with them. And then we have a Ghost Keel, a cyclic iron raker, double burst cannon, what was it? Shield and advanced target system. Couldn't quite remember if we had the shield. And he comes with his 2 stealth drones as well. And this is going to be led by a commander who has triple missile pod and an advanced targeting system. So he's going to be slicing through Imperial Guard flak armor pretty easily. Final detachment is a spearhead, 3 hammerheads with long strike. 1, 2, 3 of the hammerheads have 3 of the hammerheads have rail cannons, and 1 of them has an ion cannon. They all have smart missile systems. and me and Johnny were just joking that this last weekend I persuaded him to sort of, you know, bite the bullet and go and get that 4th hammerhead. And he's built it up and he's really excited to use it to pop some Imperial Guard tanks. And I turned up today with a pure infantry list, so he was giving me a bit of stick for that one. So the attachments today will have a Tau battalion, a Tau spearhead, and a Viola vanguard attachment. The reason he's done this is so he can advance and shoot with no penalty with pretty much his entire detachment, which makes those stealth drones incredibly manoeuvrable. So here we have the Warlords and Relic Bearers for the army today. I am going to be taking the Warlord trait Master of Command, which gives me an extra order, particularly useful when you've got this many squads. And I'm going to have the Relic Laurels of Command, which means every time I issue an order to one unit on a 4+, I can then issue an additional order to the same unit, which means I can get things like reroll 1s to hit and reroll 1s to wound on the same squad, or first rank fire, second rank fire, and reroll 1s to wound on the same squad. Johnny, what have you gone for today?
Example of the Monk car,
which does?
You can just advance without penalty.
Okay, and your Relic? The usual, the engram chip?
Yeah.
The engram chip, the Neurotide engram chip. Johnny doesn't have as many command points as me, so it's quite good for him to be able to farm command points as and when they come in. That basically gives him 1 free reroll like a command point, and also lets me on a 6+, when anyone spends a command point, he can get 1 back. So here we have the field of battle after deployment. The Mordian 50th Rifles have been deployed rank by rank, 3 ranks deep across the entire front line. We are ready to march upon the Xenos scum and purge them in the name of the Emperor. In terms of units, we have veterans on this, anchoring this flank, supported by snipers and heavy weapon teams. All melter squads on the front, with in the second line in the middle, another 3 melter squads. Las cannon, plasma squads, also in the third line there. Characters broke up into groups of 4: senior officer, Lord Commissar, junior officer, and Astropath. You can see that again has been done here, and again it's been done over here as well. Coming back here, we've got some skirmishers who are denying the enemy deep strike potential. A couple of las cannon grenade launcher squads, a little bit cheaper than the las cannon plasma squads, but still able to contribute to the game thanks to the long range of these heavy weapons. And then on this flank, more heavy weapon team support, auto cannons, another sniper team, and some more las cannon plasma. Coming round to the Tau side of deployment, we have pretty much a refused flank on the left hand side. They've decided to concentrate their forces in a central right position. So in the very centre they have their main fire base of hammerheads. These are all within 6 inches of long strike, so he'll be giving them some buffs. And the crew are also here just to provide some objectives secured on that objective there. We also have another little fire base here, the Ghost Keel, Fireblade, and all the fire warriors, plus a little bit of Piranha support. Now they've also formed a hammerhead formation, which is pretty cool. So hammerheads everywhere. Advancing forward behind these walls, we have the recon element of the Tau force, stealth suits with burst cannons. They've infiltrated forward, and that is behind this bit of line side blocking terrain. So if they go first, I imagine they'll be jumping up there, and they'll be the first Tau to hose down the Imperial Guard lines. That'll be the first obstacle for this platoon to overcome. I can almost imagine the stealth suits hiding behind there, gripping their burst rifles, panting, and suddenly they hear the ground shaking. And one of them turns to his leader and goes, "Shazwi? Is that an earthquake?" And like in 300, he just turns and goes, "No, Shazla, battle formations." And then the guard just start marching forward. So, mission today is the scouring. We haven't yet decided which is, rolled for which is the superior, which is the inferior. We'll do that in a moment, but I'll show you where the objectives are. We have one here, and then we have another one underneath that heavy weapon team there. One in the centre, and then the Tau have a slight advantageous position because they have one here, and one here. So as it always seems to be with these games between me and Johnny, I often get to deploy the first unit. It doesn't really help me with the amount of units I have, but then Johnny's able to strategically deploy the objectives. So Mordian Iron Guard are on the offensive today. That's absolutely fine. That's the way we like it. Wouldn't have it any other way. So let's roll to see which is the inferior objective first. That is objective 5. There's 6, 4. Maybe it's that one there. No. Objective 5's there. So that's the inferior objective. And then let's see which is the superior. Objective 5. Got to re-roll that one. Johnny's going to roll. Oh, Johnny can roll it. 3. So the superior objectives in the centre. That is perfect. That's absolutely perfect. We were a little worried that it was going to be all on the Tau side, because I mean I've been in that situation before when facing the Blood Angels, and I have managed to pull it out. But it's a really tough uphill fight when you're facing an enemy which has more objectives in their deployment zone and has objectives which are worth more points in the deployment zone. So let's now roll off to see who gets the first turn. Obviously the Tau have the +1. Let's see what happens. Tau get a 2, Imperial get a 5. The Tau are going to have to do what they do best and seize the initiative. Will the Tau be a rapid force, or will the Imperium? No, that is a 4. For the first time in what must be half a dozen games, the Imperium has managed to catch the Tau off guard. Maybe that's kind of fitting because the Imperial Guard are on the offensive. We've got the initiative. We're going to start marching forward. It won't help me really against these guys, but we'll see how it goes. So, it's a big one. Let's see what the field of battle looks like after Imperial Guard turn 1.
See you in 2022.
So my psychic powers today, this Astropath is going to have Psychic Maelstrom, this one is going to have Night Shroud, and this one is going to have Psychic Barrier. Okay? Because Astropaths aren't really very good at doing smite, so I need some powers which are going to increase the chances of my infantry squad surviving. Okay, there we go. Now Johnny, do you want to use the stratagem for 2 command points? That means you can't be in cover even when you're not. I'm not entirely sure it's necessary, because you're mostly in cover anyway, but there might be a couple of angles where it will help, but it will mean you'll be using 2 of your 10 command points.
I'm in cover with all my tanks and all your last cannons, so I'm good.
Might be 1 or 2 coming over here, but it's only going to be 1 out of, or 2 out of 9, so it's probably not necessary for you, especially when you've got less command points.
No, I'm not going to bother.
Okay, so there you go guys. I know a lot of people just automatically do that, but honestly, if you've got a good enough deployment, you don't really need to, and if you're only running a few command points, burning 2 is a real trump. That would have been 20% of Johnny's points for a relatively minor buff in his case. So the 50th Mordian Rifles advanced forward. Many of the Metz squads did quite literally move and advance forward, but the advance were a little shaky, mostly 2s. There was the occasional sort of 5 in there, which allowed some squads to get further forward than others. Over here, the veterans came around here and put everything they could into this piranha, and they managed to kill it, and then combined fire from these sniper rifles and autocannons and a few other lasguns here and there were able to kill this squad of fire warriors here. The remaining firepower was concentrated on long strike. Now he did pretty lucky. He had to make what, like 5 or 6 5-up saves, and he passed about 3, so 2 in total. Of all the last cannons that could see him and target him, 2 got through, and in total they did 8 damage to him, which is okay on 2d6. That's probably about what we should have done. So that is it. Oh, should actually say before I forget, in the psychic phase, this psyker with Psychic Maelstrom was able to target the stealth six. Now I read it, and it says any unit within 18 inches of the psyker, so I don't need line of sight to do it. And I was able to do 3 wounds, which killed 1 stealth suit and 1 drone. Johnny passed the wound off onto a drone, so that's not too bad. So in total, we have killed a squad of fire warriors, piranha, 8 wounds on long strike, and we have done some damage here. This squad came charging around the corner. My thinking was, if I can just kill 2 drones, then that's pretty, for me, losing a 10-man squad for 2 drones is okay. I have men to spare. Unfortunately, stealth suits are still -1 to hit in close combat. Really important thing for guard commanders to know. These filthy Xenos are even resistant to a good bayonet charge. So as a result, I was only able to put 1 wound on them, and Johnny actually made his save. In return, they did beat down 2 guardsmen, but I am immune to battle shock this turn because I am leadership 8 thanks to being Mordian Iron Guard. So, Not a bad turn. We've killed a couple of units, we've secured first blood, we've gotten amongst them, and we've put some hurt on long strike. Let's see how the Tau are going to respond to this unending wave of intolerance and firepower. So turn 1 for the Tau. It was a good retaliation against the Imperial Guard firepower. Probably did what they needed to do there to not lose the an early game lead. They've killed about 60 Guard Infantry, and they've really mainly focused fire on this Tau right-hand flank, which makes sense because that's where they deployed a lot of their forces. So starting off at the beginning, the Fire Warriors, thanks to the Fireblade, unleashed a pretty nasty barrage into this 8-man squad and were able to wipe it out. This then enabled for this squad to go ahead and it used the stratagem that the Viola get. I think it's called Hot-Blooded, which means they're allowed to fire twice but has to be at the nearest unit, which was this squad of veterans here. Now it's a good job they did that because they needed to fire twice in order to wipe them out, and they did, which is good. These units over here, plus some smart missiles, and it's difficult to keep track of with both sides having so much firepower, but
basically smart
missiles, cyclic iron raker, burst cannons, came into here and were able to wipe out this squad of veterans and this squad of veterans, and maybe a little bit of submunition fire as well. Now the cyclic iron raker switched it up and targeted, it did overcharge, and it targeted these heavy weapon teams here, which allowed it to kill both of them on the D3 damage. Should have said it actually made a mistake in that when I was reading the list out. It hasn't got advanced target system, it has multi-tracker, which allows it to move and shoot heavy weapons without any penalty.
Yes.
So that's it. Also, one thing to mention is this guy wasn't deployed on the table at the beginning of the game. Johnny wasn't, sort of forgot about the change in the beta rule, so I let him off.
It is a beta rule.
He argues the beta rule, so I let him off. So he just started the game deployed there. It made no difference to me because I wasn't going to be able to target him with anything anyway, so that's absolutely fine. And that is pretty much it. There was a few other scattered casualties, like 2 bases lost over here from an iron cannon. But generally, submunition rounds, smart missiles, pulse weaponry, really focused down here. And like I said, between the heavy weapons and some other scattered casualties, we have lost about 60 guys, which is just under a quarter of the average. It's a good effort by the Tau. But they've got some units pretty close to the Guard now. That's rapid fire range, bayonet charge range. Let's see how the Imperium responds to the Tau counter-attack. So, Enemy Imperial Guard turn 2. Bit of not a great one. Some areas have done okay, but there was nothing that really delivered a hammerfall blow. And it was partly due to my dice being a little cold and Johnny making some really good saves. So we're starting off over here. Basically, all my las cannons targeted long strike, and a lot of them had reroll 1s to hit. And with that, I got a really respectful amount of hits. I think I put 3 to 4 wounds onto long strike. And you've got to remember, even in cover, he only has a 5+ save. And out of those 3 to 4 wounds, only 1 of them got through. I think he only used a command point. I think he made 3.
He's on the stealth suit.
Oh, he's on stealth suit. So he definitely made, I think it was 3 out of 4 5-up saves on long strike. He did, because he made 3 from the large cannons over there, and he made 1 from over there. So yeah, that was really, really good. So I only, and then the one that did go through only did 1 damage. So long strike is a key pivotal part of this army. Well, fired 18 las cannon shots at this point with reroll 1s, has not died. And me and John have worked out, he's made 5 out of 8 5-up saves. So he's really doing well long strike at the moment. That's why he is a tank ace though. Coming around over here, merge these 2 squads together, put Psychic Barrier, put Night Shroud on them. They're all in the cover there, and they absolutely unleashed everything onto these stealth suits. And they only killed 3 of them. Again, it was a huge amount of shots, huge amount of wounds, and they did. I think they were just a little lucky. Not too bad though. Over here, Psychic Maelstrom killed 2 and a drone, and then everything else fired in. And I don't think actually. Oh no! Then the sniper rifles came in as well. And basically between the snipers here, Psychic Maelstrom, las guns, we've managed to kill 3 stealth suits in this squad and 3 stealth suits in that squad, which is okay. We've basically wiped out our stealth team, which is pretty good. I have to say, the snipers have been absolutely fantastic this game, just consistently smashing out those mortal wounds. And that was it, unfortunately. The last thing to mention is these crew did get absolutely slaughtered by just disciplined las fire from over here. But realistically, we've killed 5 stealth suits. and a bunch of crew. It's not a huge dent in the Tau firepower. Now coming over here, the last thing to mention is this squad that was here, it moved up to here and then it managed to get a charge on one of the drones here. It did kill the drone. So another drone killed, and they consolidated into this one. The last thing to mention is really unlucky with my bayonet charge over here. Thanks to Tau, I thought it was Sept units that could provide supporting fire. It's not. It's Tau Empire units, which meant this unit and this unit were able to provide supporting fire to these guys. It made a huge difference. I lost quite a few from this squad. I think I lost 6 from this squad. I can take a morale check on them if you can pass me a die. So the leadership 9 thanks to the Lord Commissar, plus 5. So 11. So they would lose 2 more. So I'm actually going to execute a guy and re-roll it. Ah no, so I think that might actually be the whole squad gone with the execute 1 and 3 are gone. So that's really unlucky there. That's a melter gun. It's only a grenade launcher, it's not too bad. You can see that's kind of how my turn's been. It's been a bit of a funny turn. And then I had 2 charges to make at least stealth suits, and I failed both. Only 7 inches on each one, I think, and I failed both of them. Even with a reroll, and the Lord Commissar took 3 wounds on the way in. And pretty much just this squad just absolutely holding the trigger down, hosing down the guardsmen. So yeah, it was, like I said, a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, the crew died, which because I removed cover with the Ash Path. Stealth suits took a bit of a beating, but the main Tau firebase is still not really been threatened, and it's got a lot of firepower it can pump into me. But I'm hoping those 5 stealth suits who died are going to make a big difference. But yeah, so yeah, there we go. Turn 2 guard. Let's see how it goes. So that was another fantastic turn from the Tau. It's the guard are pretty much holding on purely through weight of numbers, which is why we brought this list pretty much. So it's a bit of a difficult one to keep track of, but essentially this squad of stealth suits, Johnny was umming and ahhing, does he pull the OP back in, does he go for a Hail Mary with them? Decided to go for the Hail Mary with them and still spent the 2 command points making fire twice, because he wanted to kill the Lord Commissar, and then the next nearest unit would have been an infantry squad behind. But the Lord Commissar made a ridiculous amount, made all his 4 saves from the first bursts, and only just died on the second amount of bursts, which meant the Lord Commissar absorbed basically 24 shots, which would have easily caused some major headaches. This squad over here, they were in cover, they had take cover on them, they absorbed a huge amount of firepower from basically all these pulse weapons, the second stealth teams here, pulse weapons and the ghost kill, but they're still holding on, and they were fine on their leadership check as well. Johnny stoically refused to shoot the buff squad, so they haven't taken any damage. But what he has done between his ion cannons and his rail cannons and his smart missiles, he's really thinned out my las cannon squads in this part of the board. Really thinned them out. And he's also done some pretty good damage to a las cannon squad. He's killed one over there as well. So we've gone down now to just 5 las cannons from six las cannons from a starting 9.
3, 4, 5, 6. And one of those is just the las cannon.
One of those is just the las cannon as well. So he's done a lot of damage. You know, he's killed probably another 40 to 50 infantry there, but we've still got probably about 100 to 100, well over 120 guys on the board. So we've still got men to throw into the grinder. And the big thing about this next turn is that we're going to probably burst forth from this cover, get into close range, start meltering stuff, start first rank firing and rapid fire range. We're going to have a big turn this turn. It's going to be, the guard need to do something turn 3 in order to secure a nice position. But if they don't, this game's back on basically, because even with the guard taking massive casualties, all we have to do is pretty much hold this objective, just keep piling the men onto it. So it's a tough one for the Tau, it's also a tough one for the guys, a really close game. Let's see how the Tau...
Long strike healed up to 5 wounds.
Oh, a long strike healed up to 5 wounds, he's been an absolute hero. So let's see how the turn 3 guard is going to pan out. I think it's going to be time to fix some bayonets, guys. So, holy shit, guys, what an absolutely nail-biter of a guard turn. Just absolutely epic turn. I don't think it was a great turn, but we did just enough to cling on, because we've made a big tactical gambit here. We've advanced out of cover. Now, the reason we've done that is because of the level of smart missiles that the tower are able to put into us. And I basically, Johnny, when I think about it, cover is an illusion. Right now, cover isn't going to save me. What is going to save me is mass firepower. And that's what I went for. So every single squad along here got first rank fire, second rank fire. These squads conga lined up, moved up. These two squads here have been so disappointing. They haven't hit a single shot out of 6 las cannon shots. Oh, and there was another squad here that didn't do anything. Basically 8 las cannon shots and about 7 plasma, and they haven't done anything, really letting the side down. The autocannons also, after a pretty good first turn, have been letting the side down. All these las cannons here were only able to, one was able to connect with long strike, and we did like 3 wounds. So out of 6 las cannons, we did 3 autocannons and plasma. All my long range firepower, we did 3 wounds. 3 wounds. 3 wounds. So I was sweating. Okay. So I thought I'll try and so feel better by killing a smaller, easier to kill unit. You think 2 melters, a couple of frag grenades and some lasguns would be able to deal with a piranha, considering it's toughness 5 and I'm wounding on 5s. No, it only took 2 wounds, it only took 4 wounds from that. Fortunately, in my psychic phase, Astropath of Awesomeness literally got every level of Psychic Maelstrom and killed 2.5 of them. There was 1 guy left with 1 wound, 3 snipers, got the headshot, veterans hitting on 3s, -1 force snipers, makes such a difference. And the snipers have been amazing this turn. So I killed the stealth suits, didn't quite manage to kill that, and all my long range firepower failed against long strike. It wasn't looking good. But I had merged all these guys here into one 30-man blob, and I have put Nitride and Psychic Bio on in case any of you are wondering, it's a bit lunatic. No, they are quite tough now. Everything went into my These 2 squads also went into Embarrass Meltigan, which tried to take this out. Everything. We're talking probably 100 plus lasgun shots. Went to long strike. These guys had the Mordian stratagem, so they were just getting loads of extra shots. In total, long strike had 3 wounds left, and we put 8 wounds in it, and it could have gone either way.
2 wounds from the last guns here.
Yeah, including these guys, it was 8. Oh no, I did another 2 wounds from the squad over here. So
the melters here failed on him.
Yeah, no, you're right. So the melter guns.
Here, and I failed 2 out of 4 last gun wounds.
Yeah.
3 up. So I passed 5 up saves.
But 3 up saves
all through the game, and then finally these melters in this squad fired.
Completely failed.
Melters had 8 wounds in him. 3 up saves.
Well, I think in total you had 12 wounds
from last gun,
and you had something like.
And I had the pure.
You had 6 wounds left. Basically, you had 12 wounds, and he failed from last guns, and he failed 6 of them. So, as I always say, it comes down to the humble infantryman and his rifle, and we las-gunned long strike letters. That's a little bit difficult to follow. In summary, all long-range firepower, all melter, all autocannons, bounced off long strike pretty much, and it came down to rapid firing, volley firing lasguns, and we destroyed him. It's such an epic moment,
and that made
such a huge difference.
Not hitting on 2 ups anymore. So.
These 3 tanks hitting on 2 ups have been crucifying me. Now they're down to 3 ups. Now I'm not out of the woods here, guys. I'm not out of the woods. I have broken cover against the Tau gun line. That's not a sane thing to do. But we are constantly putting pressure on the Tau, and we're going to have to see how they're going to respond. They haven't got the stealth teams, they haven't got long strike, they're running out of marker lights, the Tau are under pressure. What can they do to stop this Imperial surge? So a pretty good Tau turn. They didn't actually really feel the effect of long strike dying, but it probably saved about 5 guardsmen overall, which is, at this point, quite important. At the beginning of the game, I had men to spare. At this point now, I have slightly less men to spare. So, essentially they did a really good job. They didn't want this blob getting any bigger, so they stripped down the little squads on either side, got rid of them. That was pretty much with all the firepower.
4 squads in total, isn't it?
It's 4 squads in total, and then everything else pretty much fired into here, and they only managed to kill 6. The Nitrile made a bit of a difference, and the Psychic Bio made another difference. Although, to be honest, like I said, they did really well on the hits and wounds of the Tau. They have consistently just been. They've not had bad dice at any turn. They've had slightly above average dice at every turn. A really good example of this is Johnny hasn't got less than a 3 on the number of shots with his rail cannon submunition, and he's only got a 3 once, and every...
5 or 6, I've just got
You have got a 5 or 6 once on each one. But you've pretty much got 4. He's pretty much got 4s every single time. It's balanced out to he's got 4s every single time. Which is a big deal. It's a really big deal, because that consistency is something that makes submunition a bit of a bad option. And when you've got consistency, I've said to Johnny, it makes it such a good option. You can actually start predicting how much shots you need to put into each unit, and that helps you really do target priority. So, these guys have still got 24 in. The rest of my army went, for once, the backline units went unscathed.
Yeah, I just literally killed every melter that I could.
Yeah.
I didn't want to shoot these guys because I knew I'd have to kill like 26 guys before I started taking the melters off, or 27 guys. There's 10, 10, 6 and 4. I want a 2-man squad, so I killed 5 squads.
Yeah.
They're easier to kill, get rid of the melters, jobs are good.
Exactly. So, and then this thing charged forward and managed to do 3 wounds to my commander because he is the nearest unit. So that was pretty hairy. Johnny even used his Pure Tide Engram chip to try and get an extra wound. It didn't pay off, unfortunately, so he did burn that. But he's still got 4 command points left, and I've still got 4 command points. So even though I started with more, Johnny's actually been pretty good at getting them back. Every turn he's got 1 back.
That's one of the advantages of you having all infantry, is I've not had to roll any command points on my
D6 damage.
D6 damage, so
You've just
I've had command points to spare.
Yeah, it's which is normally not the case with Tau at all. Normally you're consistently having to get more damage rolls up. So that's end of Tau turn 3. Imperial Guard are going to need they need to seal a deal now. Going into turn 4, we have to deliver a really big blow to the Tau, and it's going to be tough.
Well, I healed him 3 wounds.
Oh, and he healed him 3 wounds, so he's still rocking around. So it's going to be tough. Both sides, the game is hanging on a knife edge. It's just time. The Guard need to just clear out some Tau firepower. We just need to do it. We haven't really been doing that. We've been getting rid of all these little shitty squads, and now it's time to get rid of a big chunk of pulse weaponry. We've got to end this Fire Warrior Castle. It is shredding squad after squad. Now is the time to clear off the enemy's objective secured. That is what's important at this point. So, let's see what the Imperial Guard can do in their turn 4. They need to keep the pressure on the enemy. So, the Imperial Guard, turn 4 is over. And we've done what we've had to do, but the game really is hanging on a knife edge. The Emperor is guiding us, and depending on how the Tau react now, it's going to be a really tough game, okay? So, starting off, I continue to push forward with this big blob squad, okay? The characters are behind, providing supporting bolt of fire and orders. A bit redundant on the order. I've got 3 orders here for 1 squad, but it doesn't matter. So they've pushed forward, and then over here the Warlord fell back in amongst that squad, and then this unit and these units here were open fire on the Piranha. It took a lot to kill 1 Piranha. I had to use my autocannons as well. An autocannon, sorry, but we did manage to kill it, so that threat to the Warlord is now gone. Then I had supporting fire from these autocannons and the sniper rifles, and that managed to kill a couple of the bring the Fire Warrior squad here down to about half. So the snipers are a little cold this turn, but can't complain because they've done really well up until that point. And then it came down to these squads over here. They were able to do something as well. They finally got some hits, and between 3 las cannons and 2 plasma guns, we were able to finally put 5 wounds on this hammerhead. They've been blasting into hammerheads all game. It's the first bit of damage they've done. It's not great, but I'm willing to accept. That's actually picking up. The big moment, so the shooting was okay. The big thing was the psychic phase. I know a little bit out of sequence here. The big thing was the psychic phase, because Mr. Psychic Maelstrom every single turn has been smashing it, and he was able to again melt the brains of one of the stealth suits, which is a burst cannon down, which is at this point really important to Johnny. And also I got Psychic Barrier and Nitro off again. Me and Johnny have been really impressed with the abilities of these Astropaths, because they're only 30-point little psychics and they haven't failed to get a psychic power off yet. If I'd use a command point here and there, probably put about 3 to 4 command points behind my psychic powers.
Not even that many.
Not to cast, but sometimes my psychic motion's gone off and then I've got a 1, so I've had to use a psychic power, a command point to re-roll it. But essentially, I probably put about 4 command points behind the psychic powers, and they've done something every single turn.
They've been responsible for killing a squad and a half of stealth.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the psychic powers alone have probably killed a squad and a half of stealth teams, plus mortal wounds.
I've no choice because I have to be 18 inches to shoot you, but then you can. Yeah.
I can brain melt you.
Back, yeah.
And what we've been saying actually is veterans with snipers, or snipers in general, plus things like psychic melter and smite. Basically, mortal wounds are the way to kill stealth teams. You can't feasibly kill them with small arms. You can't feasibly kill them with leaving russets because you only hit on 5s. The only way to get rid of them is snipers. Well, basic snipers or auto hitting mortal wounds. Mortal wounds is the key to deal with them. It's taken me a few months to finally get that right, but it is absolutely. It's been so important in this game because normally those stealth suits would roll up a flank themselves, easily roll up a flank themselves. But anyway, back to the most important bit of the shooting phase. I used these 3 astropaths to remove cover on this hammerhead. The stealth suit and the 2 fire warrior squads there. 3 melter guns went into this hammerhead. Johnny at the beginning of the turn put -1 to hit on this against this blob with the Neuroweb jammer. 2 command points. So I was a bit greedy and went for this hammerhead instead. Missed with every single melter gun. Melter guns have not hit yet. If anything, this game has been proof that all you need is las guns because my las guns have done more than pretty much anything else. Finally, volley fire, first round fire, second round fire, absolutely everything. Went into those 2 squads, slaughtered them. Had shot. I think I had about 40 shots to spare before it was finished. So yeah, absolutely killed that. And then a final charge against that marker drone there because every marker light kill is still important. So there we go. Big blob squads out in the open, facing down, big old Tau gun line. Let's see how the Tau can respond to this Imperial Guard threat. So what a different Tau turn we've had. Up until this point, the Tau honestly have been the undisputed masters of long-range firepower. The Guard have been pushing forward into an absolute tornado. But because this squad, they have been pushing forward, which means they've been. At this point, something had to give, and the Tau finally had to target the buff squad. If they hadn't done that, it's a catch-22. If they hadn't done that, this big squad was going to start taking objectives off the Tau, and that's just, they can't have that happening. And there's 3 melter guns in amongst them. Yeah, they've not been hitting so far, but it's about time that the dice turn around on those melter guns, and they could easily get 3 hits. We'll see what happens in Guard turn 5. But because they had to shoot them, they then were facing a squad which had -1 to hit and a 4 up save, and then I used take cover to give myself another +1 to my arm save. So we've got a -1 to hit Guard squad with a 3 up save, and they haven't got long strike anymore. That wouldn't have been so bad, but long strike's gone. They haven't got any marker lights left. They got 1 marker light hit with this, but they didn't have enough to increase that ballistic skill to get round the Nitrad. So not going to labour the point too much, but basically this squad absorbed everything. I do have a leadership test to take. I lost 9 guys, but I'm just going to spend a command point for the D3. So I've got 1 command point left, and however many die, whatever roll I get in this, that will is how many guys I'm going to run. So 3 more guys we're now going to run. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the 3 sergeants. Because I've got a Lord Commissar there. He's giving them leadership 9. I don't need those 3 sergeants. So from an entire Tau gun line against a fully buffed, roughly 30-man guard blob, 24-man guard blob, I lost 12 guys. That is, I can accept those casualties. I've still got guys here now.
They've held off the Tau so that the back ranks can move on to the centre objective.
Exactly. And the Tau are still going to be forced to have to deal with them next turn because it's going to take an objective off them.
Those astropaths are bloody nightmares.
Now, the Tau commander over here zipped over. He managed to snipe this squad. Unfortunately, even the command point he wasn't able to kill this squad. So Johnny's got 2 command points left, and I've got 1 command point left. So both sides near the end of the game are running out of command points. But the Imperial Guard are pulling forward their reserve. Their final waves. We've still got 40 men here, 50 men here. We're probably down to about 25% of the infantry that we started with. But we're in amongst the Tau lines. We're on the objectives. Let's see how the Imperial Guard can do going to potentially the last turn of the game, turn 5. So, turn 5 for the Guard. We sort of thought it might be the last turn of the game, and if it is, we need to make sure we're securing our position. So, got a bit of a bad advance roll over here. I wanted to move and advance, and then use Falls of the Emperor to keep meltering, but I didn't get the dice roll that I needed, so I had to use move as well. I have secured that objective. There's a big blob of guardsmen and there's 2 characters in 3 inches of it. Johnny doesn't have objective secured, so he's going to kill all these guys and those 2 characters to make sure that he doesn't get his objective, make sure I don't get the objective. At the very least, he's got to kill all the guardsmen and then move some of his own characters on, but it is going to force him to have to deal with these guardsmen over here, potentially if it ends now. Similar situation over here. Moved and advanced, or moved, and basically I've dumped 2 guard squads and 3 characters on that objective. So again, it's going to force John to split his firepower between these 2 areas over here. My firepower was, so therefore, because I've moved and advanced so much stuff, my remaining firepower was pretty weak, and everything unloaded into either the commander or the drones, and in total we were able to just strip all the drones off. It didn't do any damage to the commander. We also, once again, got Psychic Maelstrom off, and we're able to do enough wounds to this to degrade it, unless Johnny wants to use his command points there, but he's only got, I think, 2 or 3, he's got 2 left, so it would be, but I think both his remaining command points. You've used your Pure Tide?
Yeah, exactly, that's what I've got 2.
He's got 2, yeah. And I also got Psychic Barrier off over here, because these guys, I wasn't sure if they'd be quite classed as being in cover. I think they are, though, because they're totally in cover here, and then these guys are in cover. So I've got 2 buff squads here. These guys are behind this wall, which means, you know, they'll get an extra cover save from a couple of these guns over here. I've just gone for an objective grab. It might end now, so let's see how the Tau can respond going in potentially their final turn of the game. So the Tau did a furious bit of firepower. They put pretty much everything they could have into these 2 squads. They wiped one 10-man squad, and the other one got down to 2 guys. Thanks to the Lord Commissar, I needed a 1 or a 2 to pass Battle Shock. Got the 1. Mordian Iron Guard holding firm. Over here they killed 3 guys, but that wasn't enough to force Battle Shock because this Lord Commissar's in range. And that's it. Basically.
I was pleased with this guy jumping over here.
Oh yeah.
Like, getting his drones killed off. I knew he wouldn't die because he's got Iridium, Battlesuit and Invern, and then hop back again. So that just made sure that I had my tanks found at full strength, because I used a command point to bring him back up to full.
But again, I couldn't risk him coming over here, snaggling Warlord, getting an objective, exactly. So I forced him back at least.
Yeah, he just did a little dance, like absorbed some firepower, his drones died, and then he went back and shot up 6.
I'll tell you what, it was so useful having either in cover or Psychic Barrier. It just meant I had 4 up save, and it definitely made a big difference. So this could be the last turn of the game. Let's see what happens. It has ended. So after an 8-hour grueling battle, that's right guys, it's taken us 8 hours to do this. Admittedly, we haven't been playing Speedhammer. We've just been playing normal Warhammer. And we always say that doing a battle actually doubles the amount of time it takes to play a game. So if you've probably, without very good practice, I'm a little rusty because it's been about a year since I've used Pure Infantry. Basically, if you're playing this at home, you can probably smash out a Pure Infantry game in about 4 hours, which is alright on a Saturday afternoon, so that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But doing a battle port, it's amazing. You only think it's going to take a couple of extra minutes, but it does double the amount of time.
Especially on a scale like this, when it's like a truly epic battle, and you want to get in all the little individual moments and that.
Exactly.
It's been an absolutely epic battle. I honestly cannot believe that long strike
survived so long.
You won by 1. Oh, well,
let's take a look at the points and then do a very quick after action.
I ended up chucking the points away. Like, it would have been a draw if I pushed you off. It would have been 1 point extra to you.
Yeah.
If I had pushed you off that objective, but I decided to go for gold. If I'd killed you on that,
and then nick this guy on, victory. So as it stands, the Guard get 2 points, plus 4 points is 6 points, plus 1 point is 7, plus 2 is 9, and we have first blood, which is 10. The Tau hold 2 objectives, which is 4 points.
gold.
What an absolutely what a nail-biter return. From my point of view, it was literally just throwing wave after wave at the enemy, hoping to create an opportunity. And that's all it was, just creating opportunity after opportunity. And there was one point in the game where that opportunity paid off, when this 30-man blob got here and Johnny pretty much had to target them.
I couldn't kill them.
And he couldn't kill them, but he had...
The thing is, I've ignored them all games. I've been playing against Tim's Guard since he was about 10 years old or something. I don't even know. Like, it's a long time.
Yeah.
And I know, like, throughout various editions, like, kill the Guard that are in the open, yeah? Because the Guard are going to move, they're fluid, they're very flexible. So, like, if you focus fire if you're fighting against Guard and you focus fire on their units that are in cover, they'll just replace them with more units that aren't in cover, and you've wasted shots. So you just want to focus all your damage on units that are exposed, because then they're dead by the end of the game. And at the end of the day, when you're fighting against a lot of infantry and Guard, it's all about just reducing their model count. You're just looking to turn 5, just playing the long game, just trying to kill as many infantry as possible, so that they can't grab the jets in the late game. Unfortunately, you know, it just wasn't able to be done.
Yeah, and this is the strength of this army. It's what we were sort of discussing before the game, which is it just came down to Johnny had to kill a lot of infantry. I know it sounds simple, but it's an objective-based game.
Reasonably speaking, I had to kill you down to about 40 models to be able to win.
Yeah, and I, you know, after turn of advancing forward, I basically have between all the models here, 3 full squads, so that's 30 guys, and between the rest of the models, I probably have another 20 guys, it's like 10 here and a load of characters, so I've probably got 50 infantry left. I have lost approximately 200 guardsmen, okay? 200 guardsmen, and in return, I have killed...
What's 200 guardsmen? What, 200 souls in the names of the Emperor's glory?
Exactly. What are 200 guardsmen for victory? And in
True Guard style.
True Guard style. I mean, the Tau definitely have firepower left, but if it had gone to turn 6, I have 3 melters plus psychopaths. I could probably blow up at least 1 more hammerhead. And as we've discussed in my videos,
you can move in advance these back 3 squads forward. I mean,
exactly.
It's a tight game, but I think ultimately.
Well, as I've discussed in other games, we will wrap it up on this point. Is once having 4 tanks is good. You lose 1, you drop down to 3. That's when the game really starts. When you drop down to 2, you pretty much might as well give them the tanks. This tank was pretty much guaranteed to go next turn between all my firepower. I honestly don't think Johnny would have had enough then to push on the objective. But this is Warhammer. There's dice rolls. You just don't know. He could have zoomed. He's very fast. He only needs to zoom 1 tank onto here and kill everything else.
You don't know, but
you just don't know. But yeah, there you go.
Close game. We juked it out. The Guard came out on top through blood and guts, basically. That's how they did it, blood and guts.
My man of the match my man of the match,
without doubt,
Psychic Maelstrom Astropath. He killed
all the Astropaths. So
he killed probably 5 stealthies on his own. He killed 5 times his own points.
These guys were living for a turn when they were right in front of my lines. And any other time, if they hadn't had those 2 psychic powers, they would have been murdered, and I would have just been safe. This objective would have been safe. Everything would have shot them. Jobs are good, and so him keeping them alive, great. And just killing my stealth suits meant that, you know, my stealth suits do not work. They can kill so many infantry.
Very easily.
They weren't operating at any strength from turn 2 onwards. Meant that I lost out at probably could have killed 30 more guys with them. So it's just critical. Take out those stealth suits. You've got high infantry.
Exactly.
The opposite.
So this guy's definitely my man of the match. These guys, and pretty much all the assault infantry, all the guys with Mazguns, they are the heroes of the game. They quite literally charge forward into the Howling Dark, and at the end of it, there's about 10 guys left, and they're still facing down. They're not living. These guys are definitely dead, you know, from a fluff point of view, but they've done enough. The Tau can see, after all the blood, after they're run out of ammo, and they can still see. Ammo counts as a 0. And they can still see another wave of Guard Infantry able to move on to this. Whistles blowing, commissars waving swords. There's still more infantry. And the Tau aren't foolish. They know they can retreat and come back stronger. And they've only lost some infantry. Yeah. They've still managed to keep their important assets.
At least 1,000 points left on the field.
Exactly.
Easily. And I feel probably 80% of yours.
So using their last remaining shreds of firepower to keep the guards' heads down, they recover Longstrike from the wreckage of his vehicle, and they manage to enact an ordered withdrawal. And the commissar looks on approvingly as the Xenos cowards flee. Thank you for watching, and see you guys next time.